What if I told you that a $130,000 household income can still feel like living paycheck to paycheck? And not because of bad decisions, but because the system itself is quietly designed that way. How does that even make sense? Two educated professionals, stable careers, full-time work, and yet the bank account still feels fragile, still stressful, still one surprise expense away from panic. Let's picture a couple. They both work demanding jobs. They did everything right. Degrees, careers, marriage, a home in a good area. On paper, they're winning. In real life, they're exhausted, constantly checking balances, delaying repairs, feeling like they should be fine, but aren't. And here's the uncomfortable question. If this is success, why does it feel like survival? This is where things start to break down. Because the modern story we've been told is simple. Two incomes equal financial freedom. If one income used to support a family, two incomes should create comfort, savings, and wealth, right? Mathematically, it sounds perfect. But real life didn't follow the math. What actually happened is something economists call the two-income trap, and it flips everything upside down. Let's rewind for a moment. Decades ago, a single income was often enough for a middle-class life. One person worked, the other managed the home. Families had savings, vacations, and something rare today, financial breathing room. Housing was cheaper relative to income. Healthcare wasn't overwhelming. Childcare wasn't a second mortgage. Life had margin. Fast forward to today. Two incomes are no longer an upgrade, they're the entry ticket. In most households, both partners must work just to maintain what used to be considered normal. So, where did the extra money go? Let's break it down. Imagine the second income brings in $50,000 a year. Sounds powerful, right? Like a real boost to financial freedom. Now reality steps in. Taxes take a large portion immediately. Then childcare can consume another massive chunk. Add commuting costs, a second car, insurance, fuel, maintenance. Suddenly, a big part of that income is already gone. Now add convenience costs, food delivery, time-saving services, takeout, cleaning help, because two full-time workers simply don't have extra hours in the day. By the time everything is accounted for, that extra income often shrinks dramatically. In some cases, it barely exists in practical terms. So, here's the shocking part. One person is working full-time, and the household financial situation barely changes. But the illusion is powerful. Because the headline number looks strong, people make decisions based on it. Bigger homes, bigger loans, higher fixed costs, everything calibrated for two incomes that are assumed to always be there. And that's where the trap tightens. Because what happens if one income disappears, or someone gets burned out, or life simply shifts? Suddenly, the entire structure becomes fragile. And this isn't about irresponsibility, it's about how costs have evolved. Housing, healthcare, education, childcare. These didn't just rise, they expanded to absorb the second income. The system adjusted, not your lifestyle, which is why so many dual-income households feel like they're constantly under pressure. Not because they're failing, but because every dollar is already assigned before it arrives. And here's the psychological twist. The number on paper says we're doing great, but the lived experience says something completely different. So what's the way out? It's not about rejecting two incomes. It's about redefining what each income is for. One income should cover essentials, the baseline, the survival layer. The second income should create freedom, savings, investments, debt reduction, flexibility, not just upgraded consumption. Because the real goal isn't to look wealthy on paper, it's to have options in real life. Options when someone gets sick, options when burnout hits, options when the economy shifts, options when life stops following the plan. That's the difference between feeling stuck and actually being secure. And once you see the structure clearly, everything changes. You stop asking, why aren't we doing enough? And start asking, what exactly are we building this for? If this made you rethink how the two incomes really work, subscribe for more videos on money, psychology, and the hidden systems shaping everyday life.